Wait a second. Mystique died in Dark Phoenix. So how is she coming back in Doomsday? Just something I thought about earlier today. First of all, is there sound? Okay, good. Sound is being picked up. I'm always paranoid about that now. Okay, so there is no host this time. So I am going to have to start scouting for a strategy. And because you can see that I have, oh, I thought I had 990. I have 980 ore. I may as well just buy something so that, you know, the ore that we get while scouting for a path doesn't go to waste. Okay, so I got 3 people lined up ready to join. So let me let them know. Alright, so, just gonna wait, because we're scouting, so we need to find a strategy. Just like how I did last time for me to host. You know, I wanted to do this earlier. Right now it's just about 11, see? It's almost 11. Ugh, my dad just asked me something. I bet you any moment he's going to open the door and ask me very loudly. I hear his footsteps. Yes. Well, I told him before he could actually ask the question. People are saying right for Glalie. I don't see any wide guarders. And cryogonal too, yeah, but, you know. No wide guard. So hopefully, you know, maybe, because we have, you know, we have ice moves and we have metal sound. Maybe I just wasted my ore. I was actually afraid that might happen. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to do this earlier tonight. However, I went out for dinner, and then when I came back home, first thing I had to do was I had to bathe my dog once again. You know, because he's old. He doesn't poo as clean anymore. So he needs to be cleaned whenever there's a mess back there. You know, it's just like elderly humans, elderly people. You know, the elderly, they wear diapers. They have caretakers who wipe for them, who clean after them, that kind of thing. So, same thing. Once my dog makes an absolute mess, I have to clean him. I cleaned him just a couple nights ago. And I know it's not healthy to constantly bathe a dog, but like, what are you gonna do, right? If his butt is covered in feces, I gotta clean him. And you know, unlike our human butt cheeks, we don't have fur covering our entire crack, thus making it easier for human waste to stick to. So yeah, whenever he gets dirty back there, I gotta clean him. Even if it is like multiple times a week. Anyways, these guys are over here discussing what to do. You know, they're discussing like, they're saying player 3 take Cryogonal. No, player 3 takes Glalie. Someone else takes Cryogonal, and I stick with Bronzong. Yeah, they're building a plan to just basically one-turn Zygarde. Oh yeah, I could just swap Bronzong for fake tears. Or that works too. Okay, now they're saying no, do not swap. Okay. Because now we have a whole lot. We have a ton of ice moves. And, you know, a special defense lowerer. Damn, so I kind of just wasted my ores. These guys are really confident without wide guard. I mean, it's definitely possible, but, you know, wouldn't bank on it. I cannot use this right now. We kind of don't have anything good against these guys, you know what I mean? Let's see, today I got a shiny Eevee and then a shiny Pineco in Pokemon Go. But that's not all. Today I also got a Hundo Solosis. However, I unfortunately caught it in a Great Ball. I was actually debating to catch it in a Pokeball, but I decided to use a Great Ball and I regret it. I could have had a Hundo Solosis in a regular Pokeball. See, the reason I chose a Great Ball is because I am very, very low on Pokeballs in Pokemon Go for the first time in a very long time. Because the most recent event in Pokemon Go had a whole ton of Burmy spawning everywhere. And I basically caught every single Burmy that I could. The reason I caught as many Burmies as I can is to grind for candy. See, I have a ton of best buddies in my Pokemon Go, so whenever they show up or their pre-evolution shows up, I always catch as many of them as I can to grind for the candy. So, I have 2 best buddy shiny Charizards. I will catch as many Charmanders as I can to grind for candy. I have several best buddy Greninjas, catch as many Froakies as I can. I have even more best buddy Decidueyes, catch as many Rowlets as I can. So in Pokemon Go, I have a best buddy shiny Mothim. So I catch as many Burmies as I can to grind for candy to level it up, or to power it up. Now, I don't really care about, like, PvP, or if the Pokemon's actually useful or not in battle. It's just, like, you know, whenever I get those research tasks that is like power up a Pokemon 5 times, 10 times, that kind of thing. Well, I'll just power up the best things that I have, being my best buddies, regardless of if they're good or not. Probably swap Lickitung, I'm guessing? Oh, player 1 takes. Okay. Was there any scientists on this path? Yeah, there was. But even if that scientist gives us a wide guard, we have no access to as many ice. Wow, these guys are saying, nah, fuck wide guard. Given our entire team right now, they're saying screw wide guard, we don't need it. Okay. Let's see if they say the same thing once this path fails just once. Trust, wide guard is not needed. I have done 2-player against Zygarde with just Cryogonal and Fake Tears before. I know wide guard's not needed, and you can still lose with wide guard, you know? Zygarde can use Max Quake on you. Does this look straight? I think I'm going to push this side up just a teensy bit. Okay, we have a pretty good team. There is a hint of lacking HP for Lickitung. Okay, so I think Glalie might be the slowest, if I'm if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't even finish what I was saying. So, yeah, I've been catching as many Burmies as I can in Pokemon Go to accumulate a good number of candies to power up my Shiny Mothim. I think we're gonna activate the ability absolutely. Ah, close. But you know what? We might actually be able to two-turn this. So because Burmy is so easy... So because Burmy... Oh my god. God damn it. Well, I gotta deal with that after this. So because Burmy is so low CP every time it spawns, and it's rather easy to get, I always just use a regular Pokeball to catch. And thus, I am very low on Pokeballs in Pokemon Go. Okay, so it seems like we could do this. This could be a feasible path. So I just wasted a bunch of ore for no reason, god damn it. A part of me was afraid of that. A part of me was afraid we'll struck gold immediately. But like, the chances of that happening were so little. Oh well, it is what it is. Hopefully it takes only another 27 turns before I get another shiny Zygarde. Okay. Alright, so we have a good amount of stuff to talk about today. Not as much as the Spider-Man stuff from last time. Don't think of it as wasting a lot of previous ore. Think of it as saving a ton from now on. Yeah, but I just lost myself 15 turns because I just tried to, you know, not waste. Oh, something I forgot to mention about Spider-Man last time, but now I'm forgetting what it was. Okay, they're saying, like, if we want to take a minute, draw up a little strategy. So they want to write out a strategy first. Oh, what did I want to talk about regarding Spider-Man? Was it the intro that I forgot to mention? I do not like the intro theme for Spider-Man, for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I do not like it. It is not catchy. It is not memorable. If anything, it kind of just comes off as cringe. I do not like it. I will, however, admit that the quote-unquote title card for each episode changing, it's pretty cool. You know, I at least like that it does change every time. However, the actual Spider-Man theme for the show, I don't like it. What else did I want to say? You know, I have this idea about seeing a crossover with this show and our main MCU characters. It would be... It's kind of a no-brainer to do. However, I don't know if they're willing to do it. Like, it's very simple. You have our main Tom Holland, Peter Parker. Somehow, maybe Doctor Strange opens a portal. And technically, the Peter Parker in this show is Tom Holland's Peter Parker. So you just have Tom Holland walk out of the portal. Maybe wearing his big round glasses to signify this is a different Peter, this is that Peter. And then you just literally have Coleman Domingo show up as a live-action Norman Osborn. As that version of Norman Osborn. Oh my god, I really do not want Coleman Domingo to be our main MCU live-action Norman Osborn. Believe me, I love the guy. He's just not Norman Osborn, at least not live action. You know? He's definitely Victor Strand, but he's no Norman Osborn. You know what I might do to rectify my dumbass mistake just now? I mean, hey, I have NSO on this Switch. I have NSO on my other Switch. Do I trade myself 150 ore back to compensate for my screw up just now? However, if I do that, what I'll need to do is I need to catch 150 Pokemon so that I have something to trade. Because, you know, I'm not about to have one Pokemon trade, trade, exit the trade, take the ore, reconnect, trade again, rinse and repeat. I'm not about to do that. So if I want to rectify what I just did, I would need to catch 150 Pokemon, 5 boxes of just random filler garbage, just to trade myself back 150 ore to compensate. I mean, if I were to do that, not now. What if I get shiny Zygarde before I run out of ore? Oops, I did not mean to search. I don't know how long I'm gonna go for tonight, just because I did start rather late. Okay, yeah, they're just writing up a strategy right now for everyone to follow. Well, while they're doing that, let me get ready. Because we have a couple of things to talk about today. Just like how I stopped talking about Spider-Man midway into the season, I did the exact same thing for Invincible Season 3. I literally stopped talking about the season halfway into the season. Because, you know, I finished shiny hunting, I went on a trip, and then I got sick after I came back. So today we have 4 episodes left of Invincible Season 3 to talk about. I'm pretty sure, at least. I'm pretty sure I stopped talking about the show after Season 4. Season 4? After Episode 4. Smack dab in the middle of the season. Because, let's see, Episode 4, Episode 4 of Season 3, that was the episode where Mark goes to the future and has to kill the Immortal. And then, well, that was the first half of the episode. Second half was Alan and Nolan breaking out of prison with Battle Beast. I think I remember discussing the fact that that Nolan revealed there are less than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left in the entire universe. I think I remembered talking about that. So I think I talked about Episode 4, so we now have Episode 5 to 8 to talk about. And once again, forgive me if I miss a couple of details just because I watched these episodes weeks ago. I'm basing this discussion off of my memory as well as the Wikipedia summary in front of me. So yeah, okay, the strategies are written up. With any luck, it's an 85% chance to 1 turn on Zygarde. Okay, so they have an entire written strategy. Thank goodness I didn't have to do it because I didn't want to. Let's see. Player 1, third Pokemon that's not Bronzong or Lickitung. What? Okay, player 2, Bronzong. Player 3, Butthole Pokemon. Player 4, Lickitung. That's actually what this person wrote. Player 1, Max something. Okay, I gotta respond to this, because... yeah, we're just fine-tuning the strategy right now. I'm asking, should we start? Oh, yeah, I remember one thing that I wanted to mention. So, when I heard this news, the first thing that came to mind what? The first thing that came to my mind was, well, it was gonna happen sooner or later. So, it turns out, okay, I don't remember where I said this or even when. I just know at some point I mentioned this. Okay, let me just reply to this real quick. Because the person suggesting I do not take Bronzong, but then it's like, well, Bronzong doesn't really do much unless Bronzong max steals against Glalie. Oh, the fourth player's not even joined yet anyways. Okay, so, I don't know where or when I said this. At some point in the past, I said this. Right around, I don't know if it was right after, right around my sister's wedding. So I basically said something along the lines of like, I'm basically guaranteed to go to another wedding in the future. Because my sister's husband's brother, if he ever pops the question, that means I have another wedding I have to go to. So when I heard the news that he is actually considering marrying his girlfriend right now, well, not right now, but like right now he's actually considering to marry this girl, I'm just like, oh shit. Another wedding for me to go to alone. Single. Well, it was gonna happen sooner or later. I don't know if he's actually still considered my brother-in-law. You know? My friend said that my sister's husband's parents, obviously that's my sister's in-law, but my friends told me they're also my in-laws. Is that really how it works? Okay, I gotta keep keep an eye on the chat to see what these guys say I should do. Wow, I picked Gastrodon? If they say so. I mean, I guess that does work. I can max Rockfall against Glalie, that's also super effective. And then player 2 can max Steel against Cryogonal. So yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, that works. So anyways, yeah, I heard the news that my sister's brother's... What? My sister's husband's brother is considering to marry his girlfriend. And yeah, my initial thought was, oh shit. Another wedding for me to go to alone, single, unspoken for. And yet another wedding for me to go in my suit where I look fat. Fat in my suit. I'm a fat guy, okay? Let's be honest, by the time the wedding actually happens, I will have outgrown that suit. Like I outgrow all of my suits. You know, my mom was also thinking, I think he is just slightly older than me, like maybe by 1 year. I don't know, then again, he might be the same age as me, which I highly doubt. I think he is slightly older than me. I'm just texting. Anyways, so yeah. I mean, nothing's confirmed, nothing's concrete yet. It's not like he actually got on one knee just yet. He's still just considering. Okay, these guys are saying the strategy's already fucked. Wow, that did very little. I know there's no stab, but still, that did very little. Yeah, anyway, so this guy, I think, is just slightly older than me, I think by like 1 year. And when my mom heard the news, like my mom broke the news to me. When my mom heard the news, she's just like, wow, so soon? So young? This is like his first girlfriend, and, you know, just one and done? Don't want to explore other options, you know, like, are you sure? First try and you already won the lottery, that kind of thing? And then my mom's also saying, like, isn't it a bit young for him to marry right now? And I just told my mom, like, Mom, if I told you I was getting married right now, you would be like, yeah, hurry up. Hurry up and you get married, yeah. So it's like, what's the problem with him doing it, right? Why is him marrying at this age such a problem when you would react like, oh, yes, hurry up and marry, son? If I were to say that.
Ugh.
Okay, so all they're saying is I don't swap. Why the hell would you swap? Okay, if these guys say so. I feel like what we did first try was already good enough. I don't know why these guys are overcomplicating it. Trying to rework a strategy when what we did the first time was just fine. Anyway, so before it gets too late, let us actually start the discussion. So let us talk about Invincible Season 3, Episode 5. Now, I actually had a much better time watching Invincible than I did Spider-Man. Because Invincible was just more awesome than Spider-Man, and I can't believe that's a sentence I actually just said. So let's see, Episode 5. Oh, this episode. This episode. I saw the memes online about this one. So in this episode, Mark and Eve are actually debating to get their own place, to move out. Because, you know, they were having some nice sex the night before. They were trying to keep it a secret from Debbie. However, during breakfast, Oliver's just like, I barely got any sleep last night because the two of them were playing so loudly. It's like, oh, you were over last night, Eve? And you were playing very loudly? Mm-hmm. So Mark and Eve are discussing, like, let's get our own place, you know? But these dumbasses actually are considering how are they gonna pay for their own apartment? So they come up with the genius idea. They come up with the genius idea because the... Wait, which episode was it that the prison got attacked? I forget. However, like, a couple episodes prior to this, the prison was attacked, so they come up with a plan. Eve goes online, builds her own website, probably using Wix or something. Builds her own quote-unquote company to represent Invincible. So the job pretty much is 24/7 access to the superhero Invincible to defend the prison from whatever. A prisoner trying to escape, someone trying to break out a prisoner, that kind of thing. So, yeah, Eve goes and gets Mark hired to basically be the prison's personal superhero security guard. Man, I saw all the memes online about how stupid this was. The main thing, the best one I saw online was, ma'am, you can turn dog shit into gold and pawn it. Why do you need a job to get money? That is absolutely stupid. Eve can absolutely do that. She can turn anything to gold and just sell it. What the hell do you mean you need a job? And another thing, getting your own place, getting your own apartment, ma'am, you can make your own shelter out of nothing. Okay, I take. Like, she built her own treehouse, right? She built her own treehouse, and that's where she was living in for quite a while. Now, I do realize that you remember in Season 2, she tried to just build architecture out of nowhere, and it crumbled and failed? Well, that's why she's taking classes now for it, is she not? She's building a damn treehouse, not an apartment building. if that treehouse collapses, well, they're probably gonna be fine. Mark is gonna be fine if a couple of wooden logs fall on him. Sure, Eve may get scratched up, but they'll be fine. Can't Eve just stop their home from falling? As it's falling, can't you just stop everything mid-air? So, that was incredibly stupid. Why the hell does Adam Eve need a job for money? When one, she can build her own place, and two, she can literally just turn anything to gold and sell it. Like, you can just turn a rock on the ground into a solid gold bar. Like, it doesn't even have to look like it resembles something. Just pick up a rock and turn it to gold. So that was incredibly stupid. Whatever. So Mark now has a job where he gets paid to protect the prison. Incredibly stupid. Let's see. There was this one scene where Oliver disappears from home, Debbie's worried, so Mark and Eve go out to look for him. Turns out that he snuck out of the house to play with his friends. A couple of bullies came over, but then Oliver took care of it. So everything's fine. I think at this moment, Debbie reveals, like, by the way, Mark, I know you and Eve have been having sex. It's like, Mom, man. That is so awkward. It really is. So glad I don't have to deal with that. So, the first half of the season, Titan is constantly being, threatened by Mr. Liu to break out Multi-Paul from prison. However, Titan does not comply. He's just like, no, I will not do that. Oh, I also want to mention also, was it this episode? I think it was this episode. Let me mention this first. So, yeah, now that Mark has a job, he's around the prison, Titan actually goes and sees Mark, and they have a little chat. All Mark wants to do is arrest Titan. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't even consider what Titan has to say. It's like, so you replace a crime boss, and now you yourself are a crime boss. Titan's just like, you want me to stay in charge, because look at this neighborhood now that I'm in charge. Back then, there was crime all over the streets, kids couldn't simply walk around in a safe environment. Now look at what happened after I'm in charge. You want me to stay in charge. And that's going to keep happening. I'm going to stay in charge if I do what Mr. Liu is telling me, and that is to break Multi-Paul out of prison. So if we break that, that killer out of prison, the neighborhood stays safe, less crime all around. It's a good thing to break him out. And Mark's just like, yeah, no, you're not breaking him out, I'm taking you to jail. It's like, Mark, did you even hear what he said? Everything gets worse if you don't break out Multi-Paul. He doesn't even consider it. Cecil was right. Mark only sees things in black and white, never gray. And I gotta tell you, at the same time I was watching this episode, I was also rewatching Daredevil Season 2. The banter between Matt and Frank. Matt being all Batman, no killing, and Frank's just like, I take care of a criminal, I make sure they stay down. I don't give them a chance to break out of prison to do more crime. I just simply put them down and they'll never be able to do any more crime. And Matt's just like, no, No, any hope of light in them is snuffed out forever. So at the same time of watching this episode, I was rewatching Daredevil Season 2. And I was just so sick of these characters being all goody-goody. It's just like, you guys are just too good. And that's actually leading to problems. Because you guys don't do the hard things and just put these criminals 6 feet under. Anyways, hello there. I'm just discussing Invincible Season 3. You know, I was rambling so much, I didn't even realize that we actually just won the Zygarde. Nope, nothing. How can you join the raids? We're currently full right now. I have 3 other people lined up to actually join and follow a strategy. So, sorry, there's currently no room right now. Oh. So one person just said they need a moment. So, okay. Wait for that person to say they're ready, and then we'll start. Anyways, so because Mr. Liu is pretty pissed that Titan is not complying, like, where is my assassin? You did not break him out of jail yet. He pulls a Thanos and goes, fine, I'll do it myself. So Mr. Liu was not bluffing when he said he can turn into a dragon. Wait, is this the episode where Titan also goes to jail to visit Machine Head to get his input? I think it was. So we also get the return of Machine Head. Titan goes to jail to talk to him. So they discuss the Order and how it's led by criminals. Yeah. So anyways, Mr. Liu turns into a dragon. He supposedly kills Titan because Isotope betrays Titan. So Titan gets thrown off the building. Dragon Liu goes to the jail himself to break out Multi-Paul. So because Mark is employed by them now, technically, well, a dragon is attacking the prison, he needs to go and fight the dragon. So he and Eve go. Eve is dealing with all the prisoners trying to escape while Mark fights the dragon. At the same time, Isotope also goes and breaks out Machine Head. It feels like he could have done that long ago. If you have someone who can teleport like Isotope, why didn't he just break out Machine Head to begin with, you know? So Multi-Paul is trying to escape. Was this the episode? Wait a second. I think it was. This was the episode where at the beginning... Or was it? Yeah, it was this episode. At the very beginning of this episode, we see a pretty gruesome prison escape attempt. Where Multi-Paul just multiplies so much to the point there's not enough room in the prison cell. And the amount of pressure from all the bodies just causes the door to break open. That way Multi-Paul can escape. Pretty horrific, pretty gruesome, yet pretty creative. Can you imagine that in live action, though? How bloody that'd be? How horrifying the screams would be? So anyways, yeah. Invincible is fighting the dragon attacking the prison. Adam Eve is dealing with all the prisoners trying to escape. She takes on Multi-Paul. However, she believes she managed to capture Multi-Paul, but one of his duplicates, just kidding, one of his, clones actually escapes. So we'll have to see where that leads, probably in Season 4. So yeah, Isotope also breaks out Machine Head. Yeah, and then, well, Isotope gets that sumo wrestler guy, drops him supposedly to his death. So that way, Machine Head can easily kill Mr. Liu easily by shooting him in the head. Mark is actually overpowered by Mr. Liu in dragon form. However, Machine Head shoots him in the head, killing him just in time for the dragon to disappear and not kill Invincible. And then, when Titan shows up with Isotope and is like, "Good job, hero. You did everything according to plan." Mr. Liu wanted to, or whoever said, someone wanted Mr. Liu to eat you first before, no, it was Machine Head. Ugh. Titan reveals that Machine Head wanted Mr. Liu to kill Invincible before he himself can kill Mr. Liu, dealing with both. However, Invincible's alive. Mark's first thought is, "I'm taking you to jail, Titan." Like, come on, man. That's all you can think about? So we actually had several layers of betrayal in this episode. Turns out, Isotope betrayed Titan for Mr. Liu, and then he betrayed Mr. Liu for Machine Head, and then it turns out he was working with Titan the whole time. So the betrayal was planned the whole time. Okay, who do I pick? As long as player 1 gets Cryogonal, we should be good. Okay, let me see this revised strategy. Player 1, Lickitung. Okay. So now Mark is not sure if he made the right call. Maybe everything would have been better if he just simply did what Titan was suggesting and broke out Multi-Paul. Anyway, so Mark and Eve are thinking their relationship is going a little too fast. They just hooked up, they just had sex, and then they're already thinking about moving out together. So it does seem like it is moving a little bit fast. They decide to slow things down. Over with the Order and a whole bunch of colorful characters, Machine Head now takes the position of Mr. Liu as the head, the leader of the Order. And then Titan, he's just like, "Yeah, you let me keep doing what I'm doing." And then Machine Head agrees. They do not realize that Mr. Liu is still alive. And that's pretty much it for the episode. Unless I'm forgetting about a couple of small details, of course. Okay, what do I do here? Max Electric, if you say so. For the terrain, I suppose. Yeah, nobody really cares about this episode. Let's talk about the next episode, because this one is where the season really picks up. Episode 6 of Season 3. So this one, we actually start with a flashback to the incident that happened in Chicago. So we meet our character named Scott, Scott Duvall. We see his point of view from what happened that day. He's with his sister, what was her name again? I know his niece's name was Gretchen. What was his sister's name? Crap, I can't remember. Yeah, I saw what you sent me on Discord. I'll have to watch that after. Oh yeah, I also forget, like, remember what I said. Forgive me if I miss a couple of small details. I forget if it was in episode 5 or if it was in this episode. One of these episodes, there was a moment between Rexplode and Shrinking Ray where Ray is actually considering quitting, like retiring from being a superhero. And I'm just kind of shocked it took this long. I would think having literally every single bone in your body broken and taking like up to 3 months to recover, yeah, I would think you would decide to retire immediately. I'm kind of surprised it took this long. Anyways, whichever episode that happened in, there was a really nice, heartfelt moment between the two. Shrinking Ray wants to quit, however, Rex does not. Rex tells Ray about his backstory, how his parents sold him to the government to be experimented on, just for like a quick buck. So Rex never really had a life outside of Rexplode. Like, being Rexplode is his life, that's all he knows. So he has nothing if he decides to stop being Rexplode to be with Ray. So I don't remember which episode that happened in. Did you hear the Squid Game old man got sentenced to prison? You can't be serious. Squid Game star Oh Young-soo sentenced to 1 year in prison for indecent assault. Huh. When was this posted? Okay, April 5th, so it was not posted April 1st. Well, on the bright side, his character's dead. And Squid Game's ending in Season 3, so we won't need the actor to come back for anything. So at least there's that. Anyways, do I swap? Hold on. Uh-oh, hurry up. Look at the strategy. Hurry up. Okay, no, player 3 swaps. Okay, good. So I basically just keep Lickitung the whole time. Anyways, episode 6, goddammit. Episode 6, we meet Scott Duvall and his point of view during what happened in Chicago. So it was just a normal day for him. He was visiting his sister and his niece. His sister and niece went up to the apartment first. He stayed behind to buy a cup of coffee, and then that's when shit happens. So that's when Invincible and Omni-Man came to fight in Chicago. And then we find out that in season 1, when Mark was trying to hold up the building, there was a woman in the building and a kid and a little girl. And then when the building fell, all Mark was holding was a severed arm. We find out that she was a sister to Scott. And Scott, you know, having witnessed everything and not understanding what just happened, all he knows is his sister and niece are dead. Thousands of other people are dead. He saw Invincible and Omni-Man fighting. So, he blames everything on Invincible because, you know, Omni-Man's no longer on Earth. So, he can only blame Invincible. I would really love to see. I would love to see, like, you know, another universe's timeline playing out where Omni-Man stayed on Earth and Powerplex blaming Omni-Man. I would love to see how that played out. Anyways, a bit of a spoiler on what just happened in the rest of the episode. So, Scott is vowing revenge on Invincible because he blames Invincible for the deaths of his sister and niece. So he gets a job at the GDA, the Global Defense Agency, and he's slowly building a case against Invincible. He's always just like, so open a case. Why does Invincible not pay in the court of law for his crimes? Well, it's because people like these, they're kind of above the law. So that really triggers Scott. So while working at the GDA, he steals a couple of pieces of tech. So he takes it home to basically infuse it to his own body with the help of his wife. When I first saw his wife, I was thinking like, is that Kristen Ritter? Not the voice, the character design. She looks so much like Kristen Ritter. I was halfway expecting Kristen Ritter's voice to start coming out of the character. But no, it's not Kristen Ritter. I think his wife's name his son's wife is Becky. Looked a hell of a lot like Jessica Jones. So he attaches all of these pieces of tech to his own body, and it basically enhances his electric abilities, because Scott already had electric powers. It's just these devices enhance it. So the way his power works is, you know, after the upgrade, quote unquote, okay, these guys couldn't decide who should take. So, yeah, Scott attaches all of these gizmos to his body, and the more damage he takes, the more hits he takes, basically builds up kinetic energy, so he has some more stronger electric powers. So they test this out. Becky just beats her husband with a sledgehammer, and it works. He just gets stronger and stronger with every hit. Well, now that he has an upgrade for his powers, and also a new costume, now he became the supervillain Powerplex. And yes, yep. Hold on, what was the dude's name again? Wasn't it Aaron something? Aaron Paul, yeah, I think. Yeah, Aaron Paul. Powerplex is indeed voiced by Aaron Paul himself. He can't keep getting away with this! Anyways, yeah, basically living by vibranium. He kind of is just Black Panther, building up kinetic energy. The way the character is, when I first watched the episode, I kind of thought the character was a bit of like Baron Zemo. blaming the heroes for everything and vowing to take him down. You know, mixed in with a little bit of Electro, and then a little bit of Black Panther too. That's kind of the character of Powerplex. Alright, so... little bit of a side story. Mark is relaxing, taking a night off. He's going bowling with William and Rick. And Eve as well. So they're all going bowling because William vows he can kick Mark's ass in bowling. But hey, Amber also shows up with her new boyfriend as well. Of course it's awkward at first, but you know, they do their best to be mature adults. Oops. So at the same time, on the news, Powerplex is in the middle of the city, blocking the road and everything, vowing for invincible. And this is when I was really caught off guard. You know, like I really was caught off guard by the title screen for the episode. Because every time he's just shouting like, I want Invincible. And every time Invincible just cuts to the title. And it happens so many times too. It really caught me off guard. I laughed my ass off when that happened. Well, Mark, first of all, he turned off the news so he doesn't know what's happening. So he did not show up to face Powerplex. But instead, Shapesmith showed up, and nobody knew who Shapesmith was. He's just like, of course you know who I am. Oh, you don't know who I am? Well, I'm Shapesmith. Well, basically Shapesmith gets his ass beat as well. So, Invincible is a no-show. Powerplex needs to think of something else. There was a memorial service being held for victims of the Chicago incident. So, Mark and Eve decide to go because, you know, Mark inadvertently was responsible. Or indirectly, let's say. And Powerplex just knew that Invincible would show up. Probably. So, what does this genius decide to do? He decides to interrupt and attack the memorial service for all the victims. Just to challenge a superhero. Great job, genius. So they show up there. Mark realizes like he should not engage, he should not suit up and fight, but instead Adam Eve does. Well, Powerplex gets taken down. Now they need to think of something else. Needs to think of another plan. So Scott's wife actually comes up with the idea to basically stage a ransom, stage a kidnapping. Pretend like, you know, Becky and their son is being held hostage unless Invincible shows up to save them. And, well, Mark takes the bait. Well, in their little fight, Powerplex just unleashes everything he has, discharges all of his electricity, but inadvertently doing so, also accidentally fries his family, completely killing his own wife and son in the process. And then what does this genius do? He blames Invincible once again. Now, I've seen people online roasting the hell out of this character, like he has absolutely no sense of accountability. Like, he even saw footage of Invincible struggling against his father during the subway scene. Like, he is not working with his father, Omni-Man, to destroy the city and kill people. Like, he knows that, but he chooses to ignore it. Oh my god. We have a problem. Do I take the shiny or do I keep the path? We can always find another path, but then again, we can always find another shiny Glalie. Nah, Glalie is mid? I'll give you a shiny Glalie if you keep your path, so please. Well, the council has spoken. It looks like we are going to fail the shiny Glalie. Rest in peace to this shiny Glalie. It's for the greater good. Because we're still ironing out the strategy, I don't know what I need to catch. I don't know what I need to do. You know, if I don't need to catch anything, then I could just go for shiny Zygarde. So that something like this wouldn't happen. Alright. Goodbye, shiny Glalie. Actually, hold on, before I do, let's look at the summary. Let's look at the summary real quick of this shiny Glalie that I will fail. It is an impish nature. So, goodbye, shiny Glalie. So earlier in the episode, before Mark's final confrontation with Powerplex, he does ask Donald to... I didn't even connect online. He does ask Donald to inform him on who Powerplex is. He doesn't want to go to Cecil directly because he kind of doesn't like Cecil right now. So he asks Donald to secretly inform him on who Powerplex is. So yeah, Powerplex is arrested, and he's absolutely psycho. Mark is trying to comfort him like, I remember them. I didn't know their names at first, but I remember them during the fight in Chicago. Powerplex is just like, you think because you remember their names, that's supposed to give me comfort? Everyone I love is gone, and it's all your fault. Once I get out of here, I will destroy your life. Powerplex just having zero accountability. It was his own fault for killing his wife and son. And he blames it on Mark. Once again, probably a bunch of small details that I'm forgetting to mention about this episode. But honestly, who cares? Episodes 7 and 8 are the episodes we really want to discuss. So let's just move right past episode 6 and finally get on to episode 7. So actually, we need to talk about the ending of episode 6 first. Oh, hold on. Do I take Lickitung? Nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. Do I take Lickitung? Oh, no, I take Bronzong. Okay. I don't know. They keep on changing the strategy. I just listen to what these guys say. I need to pour myself some water first. So, the ending of this episode, we finally learn who those drones belong to and who's been spying on Mark this whole time. Because I don't know the comics, I don't read the comics, I didn't know who it was. I was theorizing, could it be a Viltrumite spying on him? But why would a Viltrumite need to do that? It's finally revealed. The person spying on Mark with those drones is none other than Angstrom Levy himself. And what does Angstrom do? He's actually assembled a whole bunch of invincible variants from across the multiverse and is planning to attack this Earth. Oh boy, there's a bot in chat. Need a ban, need a ban, need a ban. And I just want to say, I love the fact that after Marvel used the term variant to describe multiversal doppelgangers, everyone started using variant. Like, nobody uses the term doppelganger anymore. Everyone just says variants now. So, that's the stinger for episode 6. Episode 7 is the Invincible War. I'll be honest, I kind of wish the Invincible War was a little bit longer. You know, maybe lasting more than just one episode, but it is what it is. So we have certain noteworthy variants, like Sinister Mark, Mohawk Mark, Omnivincible, Flaxen Mark. We have 2 different Viltrumite marks. One wearing the typical Viltrumite white uniform, and another, same thing, but with a mustache. We have a couple of other Invincible variants that aren't as important, like No Goggles Mark, Classic Invincible, Bulletproof Invincible, Long Hair Invincible, Hooded Invincible, the one that wears a full mask. When I say Hooded Invincible, I mean the one that has like an Executioner kind of mask. I'm sure there's a couple I'm forgetting. Viltrumite Prisoner Mark. There's that one as well. Emperor Mark. So there's a whole bunch of variants. Alright, so let's talk about episode 7. So this episode begins with a flashback. So we see the aftermath of the season 2 finale where Mark supposedly killed Angstrom. Turns out he did not. He completely destroyed Angstrom's head, completely smearing it all over the sand, flattening it. However, Angstrom survived. He opened a portal to another dimension where we meet the Technicians. It's kind of scary to think that if the multiverse really does exist, there are indeed quote-unquote technicians like that out there. Because, damn, those guys are creepy. So yeah, Angstrom opens a portal to where the Technicians are. They put him back together. And then we see several months later, a bunch of portals open up, and a whole bunch of invincible variants fly through and start attacking Earth. But however, we first see basically the calm before the storm. We see Mark and Eve just relaxing, not aware of what's happening just yet. But then, you know, eventually they do find out. Because the prison calls, like, hey, we have an emergency, like a really, really big emergency. We need Invincible here right now. Hold on, who swaps? Player 2 swaps, so that's not me. Okay, I swap for Cryogonal. So Mark shows up to the prison, and the prison's already completely destroyed. Oh yeah, we also see this small montage of all the Invincible variants. We see Emperor Mark fighting this Dark Nut-looking character. Emperor Invincible really loves to shout. Every scene he's in, he's really loud. We see one of the Viltrumite Marks fighting Wolfman, I think is his name. Hold on, what move do I do here? Do I attack? I do Psychic Attack, okay. We see Sinister Mark in Asia fighting Best Tiger. We also see the Mustache Viltrumite Mark out in space fighting Tech Jacket. It kind of looks like they maybe they gender bent Tech Jacket. I mean, I suppose it's not the biggest deal, since Tech Jacket's not a huge character. I do know of some differences from the comics. You know, Amber wasn't black, Shrinking Ray was a man, and Tech Jacket was male. I think they made Tech Jacket female, which, like, who cares? You know? It's not the biggest deal in the world. So yeah, Mark arrives at the prison and sees Mohawk Vincible already attacking it. So they fight. But then Invincible gets jumped by a couple of heroes from this Earth, mistaking him for another variant. Powerplex escaping is just like, finally, they see him for what he really is. Realizes there's a second Invincible and, you know, tries to fight. Wouldn't Powerplex now know what Invincible's face looks like? If not right at this moment, then later on. And wouldn't a lot of people now know who Invincible is? You know? Because a lot of the Invincible variants don't wear a mask to cover their face. The news broadcast even said a whole bunch of superhuman beings, all resembling Invincible, are rampaging across the planet. If they're all resembling Invincible, wouldn't you assume the ones that don't have a mask? That's how they all look underneath, including your own? Anyways, let's see. So, I swap here. We see Oliver also join in on the fight. So, the Invincible War lasts for several days. You know, one by one they need to take out each Invincible variant. Debbie also needs to go somewhere safe, because all of them are Mark Grayson. All of them lived at the same place. And sure enough, a couple of the Invincible variants killed Debbie, killed their own mother. So yeah, it's a good thing that Debbie relocated. We also see that the Pentagon, where the GDA is, was also attacked. However, they managed to kill one of the Invincible variants. I think it was Flax and Mark. See? Dumbass Invincible, this is why you need contingencies. Like, it's a overall, it's a good thing that Cecil was preparing for ways to take down Viltrumites. A part of me feels like they probably took down a bunch of Invincible variants a little too easily. You know, since all invincible variants are still Viltrumites. They should not be easy to kill, yet they killed a good number of them. I don't know, I kind of chalk it up to the fact that each invincible is, you know, their Viltrumite half is diluted by the human half, so maybe each invincible is easier to kill than the average full-blood Viltrumite. Maybe that's it. Or maybe Planet Earth really does have a chance to fight against the Viltrum Empire because plot armor. So we see Mark and Eve face on two invincible variants. Hooded Invincible as well as Omnivincible. I gotta say, design-wise, he's my favorite Invincible variant. Omnimark. Yes, I'm biased because my favorite color is red, and this is the only Invincible variant who's wearing a red suit. You know, he's wearing Omni-Man's colors in the style of the Invincible suit, plus a cape. I also love how it's literally just a color swap of Sinister Mark's suit. It's exactly the same suit, just different colors. So yeah, all were Invincible and Eve are fighting Hooded Invincible as well as Omnivincible. Clearly they don't really stand much of a chance. Especially Eve. She gets her leg broken by Omnivincible, and so she's taken out pretty quickly. Basically, every hero on planet Earth is fighting against all these Viltrumites. There are like 18 of them, so that's 18 Viltrumites wreaking havoc on planet Earth. We also get this one gag scene, which was really unexpected. I don't even remember what the scene was like in Season 2. It was cutting back to the Egyptian thing, you know, with the character being voiced by Chloe Bennett. I feel like Chloe Bennett probably just recorded that line all at the same time. All her lines at the same time. Like, they didn't have her back for Season 3 just to voice that one line. What's crazy is you can really tell it's Chloe Bennett's voice. Like, people online have been saying Invincible has a celebrity voice actor problem, where a lot of the budget just goes to getting a bunch of big-name celebrities to voice act, instead of everything else for the show. I'll get more onto that later on. So, a bunch of Viltrumites are attacking Earth. There can only be one person who did this. Once again, I'm skipping over a whole bunch of small details. Eventually, the planet is essentially destroyed. The planet has been completely lay-wasted. So Angstrom shows up to regroup, like they know where to meet up, in front of Mark Grayson's house. Or not in front, on top. They have a little discussion, you know. Angstrom now wants them to bring Invincible to him so they can be reunited. However, the 8 remaining surviving Viltrumites say no. And that's actually quite an accomplishment. Out of 18 Invincible variants, they managed to basically take down and kill 10 Viltrumites. That's actually really impressive. So all the Invincible variants are starting to turn against Angstrom Levy. So what does Angstrom do? He just sends them to that desolate dimension that we saw Mark at the end of the second season. One thing I could not help but notice is, why did Sinister Mark's voice change? You know? All the other times we've seen him in the episode, his voice just sounded normal. It sounded like Mark, sounded like Steven Yeun. But then in this scene, they decided to make his voice a little bit higher. And I get it, it's just to differentiate, because you literally have 8 characters that all sound the same. You kind of need to tell apart who's speaking. They made the voice slightly different for Mohawk Invincible, I get that. But why Sinister Mark? His voice was fine, and then it just changed out of nowhere. So I found that kind of weird. So anyways, Angstrom betrays all the Invincible variants before they can betray him. Now, I do know what happens in the comics for this, and I would love to see it depicted in animation. While Mark is by Eve's side at the hospital bed, at first he doesn't want to leave to join the fight against all the other Invincible variants, until the variants are taken out, or dealt with. So Angstrom shows up himself. Mark is told by Cecil that we found him, and then we finally get the rematch between Invincible and KSI. So, using taxpayer money, Mark is teleported in front of Angstrom, and they rematch. I killed you! No, you didn't! So as they're fighting, Angstrom just opens up a whole bunch of portals, sending out those drones. It's like, god damn, man, how many of those drones do you have? You have thousands of them at your disposal. And the way it looked, every single time one of those drones simply just hit Invincible, just hit Mark, made contact with them, not only do they break, they disappear. And given the sheer number of them, I was thinking like, bruh, are these things like Pokeballs? Once you use them and they fail, they disappear, you don't get them back, they break? Are these things Pokeballs? Like, you had hundreds of thousands of them. And you used them all up. Where did they all go? There's not a pile of broken tech on the floor. They literally vanished. They despawned. Well, they fight, you know. Invincible now knows how to avoid Angstrom portals. Once Angstrom runs out of Pokeballs to throw at Invincible, Mark has him by the throat, and then Oliver shows up as just like, kill him before he can get away and do something like this again. Look at what he did. He basically destroyed the planet and killed, I don't know, half the population, I would assume. So finally, Mark is thinking like, you leave me no choice. I have to kill you in order to stop you from doing something like this again. Mark is finally realizing, had I really killed you before, none of this would have happened. So Angstrom now knows that Mark will not hold back. Mark will kill him. You know, he sends like his last drone to hit Mark in the face, freeing him from his grip. He was about to escape from a portal, but then Mark really quickly tries to get him. Pulls his arm through the portal as it closes, and it cuts off his arm. Oh, right, I'm supposed to tell these guys that it's up. So Angstrom, oh, I just bit my tongue. Angstrom, now without an arm, is demanding that the technicians fix him, and they're just like, no. So they built in safeguards into Angstrom's head so that he can't escape with his portals. It's like, we made a deal, Angstrom, we delivered on our end, but now we see that your word means nothing. There will be no second chances. You will do what we say now. So we're left in suspense what's going to happen to Angstrom for now. So we deal with the aftermath of what happened on Earth. Basically, the planet is completely destroyed. Lots of people died. a lot of the superheroes died. Oh man, I forgot to mention that. So we have this one fight between a couple of the Guardians. We have Rexplode, Robot, or, you know, Rudy, Bulletproof. They're fighting, I think it was Classic Mark, like Retro Invincible. So they're losing. They're losing, so Rex is just like, get out of here, I have a plan. So they do leave, but that's kind of like, you know, a suicide mission for Rex. So he stays behind, saving his friends and taking on Retro Invincible himself. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought Rex was just a normal guy with explosives to throw. Like, I thought that was it. He was just a normal guy and he just throws things that explode. I didn't realize he himself actually had explosive powers where he can charge anything he wants to explode. I didn't know he had actual superpowers himself. So he stays behind to solo Retro Invincible. He does not get the upper hand. So once Retro Invincible has Rex by the throat, there's one thing left that Rex can blow up to take down Invincible. His entire goddamn skeleton. So Rex blows himself up, sacrificing himself to take down one of the Invincible variants. So Rex is gone. Man, he was such an awesome character too. He was a douchebag when we first met him, but, you know, he grew as a character. And we started to love Rex as a character. Just for them to crush our spirit by killing him off. Man, they killed off Rexplode. First they kill off my beloved Mauler twins, and now they killed off Rexplode. God damn it, man. Robert Kirkman? This has you written all over. Don't forget, Robert Kirkman also did The Walking Dead. And just by nature and principle, Walking Dead, a lot of your favorite characters can be killed off abruptly. So, damn you, Robert Kirkman. Something else happened at the, you know, the Guardians of the Globe base. We have Goggleless Invincible fighting against Immortal, Duplicate. Let's see. So Black Samson and Shapesmith has already been taken down. Once again, Immortal continues his streak of being an absolutely terrible superhero, losing fight after fight. He gets his head completely chopped off once again by No Goggles Invincible. No Goggles Invincible does some of the exact same fighting moves as Omni-Man did. You know, he did the thing where he grabbed the leg and just slammed Darkwing onto the ground. He karate chops Immortal's head off. He does almost the exact same thing. However, the only way for this Invincible variant to be taken down was for Darkwing 2 to trap him in the Shadowverse. And we don't see what happens afterwards. So now the Shadowverse has an Invincible variant trapped in there, as well as Darkwing 2. So we'll have to see what will come from that. So anyways, now we go to the aftermath of everything. So, planet Earth is in rubble. They need to rebuild. A lot of superheroes are dead. You know, this is where we got the meme. Where's Rex? Rex exploded. I actually rewatched that scene to be like, did they actually say that? No, right? I think I would have picked up on that. They didn't actually say that, did they? No, they said Rex is dead. It was just a meme online that, you know, Rex exploded. So Mark is out trying to, clean up, save whoever he can. Powerplex is there, attacks Mark, but then, he gets stopped. Cecil orders him to be taken away. And this is where we get the line. They actually managed to sneak this line in. This is his fault. Every dead body is someone he killed. He can't keep getting away with this. I love the fact that they actually managed to put that line in the episode. So Mark is feeling immense guilt because, in a way, yeah, all this is kind of his fault. Indirectly, but still, yeah, it kind of is his fault. It's like, you don't see variants of any other superhero attacking the Earth, right? You don't see variants of Adam Eve, all of them evil, attacking Earth. You don't see Rexplode variants. You don't see, who else? Yeah, you just don't see variants of any other character attacking Earth. It's invincible, right? So, Mark takes a second to, just process everything, process his guilt. And then, what terrible timing, Mr. 10 times worse shows up right after 18 variants, 18 Viltrumite variants destroyed the planet. Conquest shows up right at the end of the episode. Stand by and ready for my arrival, worms. So Conquest shows up at the worst possible timing. Can you imagine if Conquest showed up just one day earlier? There are a whole bunch of other Viltrumites already attacking Earth, not part of their Viltrum Empire. Damn, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see Conquest show up one day earlier. Would Conquest have joined them? Or would Conquest have fought them for dominance, for right to conquer Earth? I feel like Conquest would have fought them. So yeah, Conquest shows up at the worst possible time. And Mark is just like, you don't understand. This isn't a good time. All of this is my fault. So the only thing I want to do right now is hit something as hard as I can. So the two of them start fighting, and then that's where the episode ends. I did not find out until just before episode 8, the season finale, that none other than the legendary Jeffrey Dean Morgan voices Conquest. So I watched the ending again, and I'm just like, it sounds nothing like him. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what they did. Conquest's first scene sounds absolutely nothing like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Nothing at all. It wasn't until actually watching episode 8 that it's like, oh yeah, now you can very tell it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It is nothing but Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I gotta say, I want to first say that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is, and also at the same time isn't, the best fit for Conquest. Believe me, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's personality and the way he voices a character absolutely is great for Conquest. However, it's like, when I see the character design of Conquest, when I try to picture what his voice sounds like, I don't picture Negan's voice. Seeing Conquest's character design, I just don't picture Negan's voice coming from him. So it's kind of jarring, Yes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan fits the character of Conquest very well. It's just, I don't hear Conquest, I just hear Negan. And believe me, Conquest acts exactly like Negan. It's almost like Robert Kirkman just remembered the character as he was writing how Conquest should be. So, yeah, Mark and Conquest fight, and all you hear is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's voice. Right about now, Anissa would be telling you of how great the Viltrum Empire would make this wretched planet. I will tell you no such thing. That kind of stuff. So they keep on fighting. And we really just see how incredibly unhinged Conquest is. So eventually, Mark is just beating Conquest, claiming it's a warm-up. Eventually, they take it to space, and you just see Conquest being unhinged. He makes a bubble of blood from his mouth and just folds it into a heart out in space. That is pretty unhinged. And then Conquest really unleashes himself, just keeps on beating Mark. Wait, no, I'm trying to think. Okay, I'll talk about that scene afterwards. But for now, let's finish this scene. So Mark and Conquest keep on fighting. Oliver decides to help out. So then Oliver tries to help, but then Conquest almost kills him. Pretty horrifically, too. So Conquest just super hard backhand slaps Mark into a building. He basically almost one-punch mans Oliver. And then you just see him throw up so much blood and teeth as well. Good thing Viltrumites can regrow teeth. But like, that was a lot of blood that came out of his mouth. Conquest snatches Oliver and just slowly, painfully, very slowly rips him apart, or at least tries to. Just slowly rips him apart. Like, do you feel your body stretching? First, your vertebrae separate, and then it's your muscles and nerves, and then finally your skin will give and tear. So then you just, oh my god, you horrifically hear Oliver screaming in pain. It's blood-curdling. Thankfully, Mark saves Oliver just in time. Eve finally wakes up from her coma, I guess, from being taken out. There was also a scene before where Mark met Eve's parents. And, you know, they're just like, you know about Eve, right? The fact that she has superpowers? Well, when Eve wakes up and her parents are just like, why are you so concerned about Mark? Wait, he's your boyfriend? Invincible is your boyfriend? Your boyfriend Mark is invincible? So yeah, Eve also joins the fight. So there was this one scene, yeah, Conquest is super unhinged. Mark was about to low-key surrender. He's just like, stop! You're too powerful. I can't take any more hits from you. Like, stop! You really think I'm gonna give you a chance to surrender? He's just like, shh. It's okay. You can do it. Keep fighting me. You can do it. You're almost there. Just stroking his face. Okay, so Conquest just basically shreds Mark against the ocean water. And then they go to this beach area where the sheer speed and force that the two of them are flying at, they plow right through everyone. At the beach, everyone dies. Their bodies get completely torn apart instantly just by the sheer force. Hey, at least it was a swift and quick death. You know? It was surprising, like they didn't expect to die that day, but at least it was a swift death. You know, I can only hope for a nice, quick, swift death if I'm to die prematurely. However, I don't want it to be a surprise, you know? I don't want to just go about my day and then bam, lights out, I'm gone. If I am to die abruptly, I would at least like to know what's about to happen. And hoping that it's going to be quick and painless, obviously. So yeah, Conquest just dragging Mark across the city, killing everyone in their path. I feel most bad about that dog that Conquest killed. I don't really care much about the kid that got killed by Conquest. I don't really care, you know, fuck that kid. I care more about the dog that Conquest killed. You know? I even saw online a post being like, anyone else think that kid kinda overreacted from dying by Conquest? So yeah, they keep on fighting. Eve finally joins in. Conquest breaks Mark's leg, so he needs to take a moment. Eve actually puts up quite a fight. She actually could have stood a chance, but you know, Conquest is too powerful, so he actually overpowers Eve. I think I'll do one more and call it. Oh, someone got something shiny. Oh! That person got Glalie! Okay. So yeah, I actually thought they were going to kill off Eve as well. Because Conquest just, you know, punches all of Eve's guts out as well as completely wrecks her face. I thought they were really going to kill off Eve. You know, Mark is there crying, holding Eve's dying body in his hands. And then we get this really awesome line by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and it's just like, I really want to thank you, Mark. You know, whenever we conquer a planet, there's so many rules to follow, so many people not to kill, but for whatever reason, and I don't care why, I was ordered to take control of Earth by any means necessary. You did something to piss us off, and I thank you for it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is awesome. And, you know, as much as I feel indifferent about it, he is a fantastic fit for Conquest. Personality-wise, it's just like his voice, I associate it too much with Negan. I just cannot hear anything but Negan whenever I'm watching Conquest. So yeah, Mark is very angry, thinking that his girlfriend just died. So they clash. Mark actually breaks off Conquest's prosthetic arm, breaking his own arm in the process. Just shows you how hard he hit. Okay, they're saying it looks like one person's gone. So they're saying let's try 3 players. Oh well, at least we'll try it and we'll know if it works or not. So anyways, yeah, they're fighting. Turns out Eve is alive. She's able to reform her own body. Well, this is already different. You know, I absolutely did not notice this. People were quick to notice that, like, they animated Conquest's eye. Like, he has 2 eyes when fighting Eve, when he should only have 1. So, they're fighting. Eve shows up, burns Conquest, but he's still alive. So Mark, you know, he beats him down. Mark completely just headbutts and caves in Conquest's head, thinking that he killed him. The fact that Mark was able to defeat Mr. 10 times worse just shows, like, okay, the Viltrumites are going to know that Earth is not playing around. Send everyone. Send every last Viltrumite they have. This planet is really challenging to take control over. We need to really put all our power into this planet. Anyway, so yeah, Mark defeats Conquest. Turns out Eve can rearrange organic matter, just because there initially is like a limiter set inside of her, unless dire situations like herself dying. Oh yeah, one thing I realized, like, wait a second, I thought the world was decimated just like days ago by 18 Viltrumites. I thought the whole planet was in ruins, because we saw majority of the big cities are. So, wow, people just have time to go to the beach, huh? You know, when Conquest killed all of them. I guess, you know, small parts of the city, or small parts of the planet were left untouched. Nah, I would stay indoors, you know? I ain't going to no damn beach, if that's on the news. So anyways, Cecil has a fake dead Conquest body made, and Cecil's plan is to have Conquest recover, because Mark did not kill him. So, and I've seen a lot of people criticize this. This is pretty stupid of Cecil. This is very out of character for him. Cecil has Conquest very deep underground, encased in a ton of steel or really hard metal. So once Conquest recovers and is able to speak, they will interrogate him to spill everything he knows about the Viltrum Empire. That is so stupid. Like, he didn't even... Okay, they're saying right. They're saying, like, Cecil didn't even implant that thing inside of Mark's head into Conquest's head. So, Cecil has no contingency plans for whenever Conquest does recover, wake up, and break free. That is pretty stupid. But yeah, this is the second time, Mark, that you tried to kill someone and failed to finish the job. I'll give you a pass for believing you killed Angstrom Levy, because an average human being would not be able to survive if their head is crushed like that. So I'll give you a pass on not finishing the job there, assuming Angstrom is dead from that. However, Conquest, man. Like, you've seen the fact that you caved in someone's head and they're not dead. You've literally done that already. And the fact that this guy's not human, he's Viltrum, he's Viltrumite, he can probably recover from that. If I was Mark, I would have, just for safe measure, I would have ripped off the head. Completely decapitated the head. I don't know why Mark doesn't finish the job! Anyways, so we get a couple of stingers to tease what's coming up in the next season. Angstrom Levy is now working with the technicians. The Sequid thing, I don't think we covered that at all in Season 3, so that's coming back. We also get an end credits kind of teaser for the next season with Damien Darkblood and Hell. It was also announced that, Season 4 will be coming next year. Thrag has already been cast. All the voice acting is done. There may or may not be a show original storyline for Damien Darkblood. So there was this one scene that happened, I forget in which episode. It was for Rex's funeral. And during the funeral, I wasn't the only one who thought like a couple of weird things happened. So Eve standing up there was just like, Rex was my first love. He was everything to me. And I'm just like, damn, that's kind of weird to say in front of Mark. It's kind of weird, not gonna lie. Well, I can't attack, or I can't do anything. I saw people joking about this online, like, Rex was doing everything to me. What? Rex wasn't, Rex wasn't the only thing. Like, Rex was also making me explode, like that kind of stuff. Like, it was so weird, you saying all of that right in front of Mark. The fact that, like, Rex was my first love. He was everything to me. He cheated on me, but I still loved him with all my heart. It's like, Mark is standing right there. And then another thing I found kind of weird, the fact that Rudy was like, in order to honor my friend, I am changing my name from Rudy to Rex. It's like, it's kind of weird, You already stole his DNA, you stole his appearance, now you're taking his name as well. That's one way to honor him, I suppose, but, like, it's still kind of weird. And, well, that kind of answers the thing that happened in the Season 2 finale. Yeah, like, Season 2 finale, when the Guardians from the future rescued Mark, inside the robot suit, Eve called him Rex, not Rudy. At first I thought that may have just been an error that they didn't pick up on, but nope, that was intentional. So, I saw a lot of people online complaining about the fact that Season 3, they cut a lot of corners in terms of, like, animation and production. I didn't really notice it that much watching through the episode. It wasn't until moments were pointed out online that I saw, like, oh yeah, I can see they definitely cut back on costs here. Like, say, Rex's funeral, where everyone attending was just a PNG. And I also did not notice this. Remember in episode 1 of Season 3, where we had the red giant, we saw his parents? Turns out, the mother looked a whole lot like Debbie, just Indian. Yeah, I did not notice that. You can clearly tell, and I was able to tell this as well. They clearly saved a whole bunch of their budget for the bigger, more important episodes, like episode 7, Invincible War, as well as episode 8, Fight Against Conquest. There was also this moment fighting Conquest that when it started, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? When Conquest was choking Invincible and he just whispers into his ear, I am so lonely. I'm just like, wait a second, where are you going with this? And then he continues. No one wants to be my friend. all the other Viltrumites are scared of me because they think I am unhinged. It's kind of like, you know, a serial killer opening up about his deepest, darkest insecurities to his victims before killing them. Conquest is also just like conquest. I don't even get a real name, only a purpose. I'm not gonna lie, the name Conquest is actually kind of badass. Alright, well, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of details to mention. However, for the most part, that's my discussion for Invincible Season 3. The remaining episodes I had yet to talk about. Oh yeah, there was also the fact that Meat Canyon made a parody of that moment. Conquest whispering into Invincible's ear. So, at long last, I finished my discussion for Invincible Season 3. Yeah, I did kind of just speed run through all the discussions, you know? You know it's 1 a.m. by the way? Man, I'm tired. I'm gonna turn this down a bit. I'm tired. Oh, never mind. I was thinking, like, if Glalie Dynamaxes now, we might be able to two-turn this. Never mind. I have Dynamaxing right now. Oh, pfft. Ignore everything I just said. Alright, last check for tonight. Alright, let's see. And nothing. Alright, this is where I'm gonna call it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. And goodbye.